Greetings. I congratulate you for rising up early to come to listen to Dharma. I was like you when I was younger. Each month I would find out which teacher came to teach Dharma. In the old days, these talks were held in various temples almost every weekend. I would go to listen to the teachers that I could understand. Some teachers I would go to listen only once, and that's it. Some were authentic, while some weren't. It's normal. We have to choose the teachings that, when we practice accordingly, our lives change for the better. Teachings that make us happy. We practice Dharma with one goal, and that is to be free from suffering. In fact, the more we are free from suffering, the happier we become. The Buddha never emphasized unhappiness, for otherwise we will become attached to happiness. There are many levels of happiness. There's happiness from fabrication, and there's happiness that is beyond fabrication. Therefore, the Buddha did not stress for us to find happiness, since we know only happiness of the fabricated kind. In each of our lives, or even animals, we all love happiness and hate suffering. It's natural. However, the quest for happiness is different for each person or animal. For an animal, if that day it's alive and not killed by a predator, then it is happy. If it can find food, then it's happy. If it can win a fight for a female, then it is happy. This sounds like us human. If we live in a secure place, we are happy. If we have food and lodging, we are happy. If we have a partner, we are happy. This type of happiness is common in animals with sense desire, and is called the sensual existence. It is happiness arising from indulging through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. This is the ordinary happiness that we know. We fight. We kill for this happiness. We kill for conflict of interest. In the old days, it was common to hire villagers to clear the forest and turn it to farmland. Once the task was completed, many of these people were shot to death. Some would fight over land ownership. These people weren't afraid of wrongdoing or its consequences. They thought that there's only one life to live. People who believe that there's no life after death are dangerous, for they are greedy and will accumulate whatever they desire, even if it is unethical. Each person wants happiness and tries to search for it according to their own wits. Wealth brings happiness, or fame brings happiness. Some people are very old, almost 80, but still want fame and power. This is all nonsense because they don't have much time left before they die. How to find happiness depends on each person's perception. But happiness that relies on sight, sound, smell, taste, or touch is happiness which is not that refined. because it is still influenced by sense desire. There is another type of happiness beyond this, which I would like to introduce to you. Once we can experience this, the mid-level happiness that's desired by animals and ordinary people will all seem mundane. The happiness which is more miraculous is happiness from training the mind to dwell in just an object of consciousness that pleases the mind. It's the type of happiness which was sought by scholars in the past. It's what ascetics do. Deep concentration and entering absorptions. If we are able to do concentration meditation, we will know that sensual pleasure is hot, hurtful, never enough, never full. With concentration meditation, the mind can enter absorptions. Examples are mindfulness with regard to the breath, and mindfulness with regard to the body, dwelling within the body, examining that hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, tendons, and bones aren't pretty, don't last, are suffering and not self. This is the thinking process and is concentration meditation. Keep practicing and the mind can reach the state of calm. Therefore, some people like to meditate using meditation devices. They would light a candle and focus at its flame. Open the eyes, focus, close the eyes, and then think of the image of the flame. Once the image fades, they would open their eyes and focus again. Many years ago I heard a funny story from one of my teachers. When he was newly ordained as a monk, he would practice meditation in his cell. By lighting candle and focusing at the flame, he kept practicing in this manner. One day he felt that his practice was going so well, because he could really smell smoke from the flame. There was also bright light, which grew bigger and hotter. He was very satisfied with his practice. But then he became suspicious as the smoke got thicker. So he opened his eyes and, to his surprise, saw that the candle fell and was about to burn his cell. He told me that since that time he decided that meditation using fire was too dangerous and switched to using water as the object of meditation. To meditate on water, a monk would use the lid of the alms bowl, pour water into it and gaze at the water. My teacher said to constantly think of the water is refreshing. And if water spills, there's danger, unlike fire, which can burn down his cell. People who are good at practicing concentration meditation are no longer that interested in sensual pleasure. If we can practice mindfulness on breathing until the mind converges into a calm state, the breathing stops and is replaced by bright light. Then we keep focusing on this light. The mind gains strength and is able to compress this light to the size of a needle, or expand it to the size of the moon or the sun, covering the whole earth. This is all about meditation devices. With this ability, the mind becomes elated, joyous, and prominent. Once the mind can enter absorption, it will realize that worldly happiness that people strive for is like that of an infant, happy with just playing with soil or sand. The mind of those who can practice concentration meditation and enter absorption will feel that worldly pleasure is common and tainted. Just like kids playing with dirt. Are kids that play with sand happy? Yes, they are. But grown-ups would not feel good if they are to play like the kids. People who succeed at doing concentration meditation no longer thinks that worldly pleasure is desirable. The mind is elevated to happiness that is more and more refined. If they keep meditating, the body will disappear, and the world will also disappear with the body. This is because the body is just part of the world, and once the mind is converged to a calm state, it abandons the body. What is left is just the mind. The mind enters absorption of the formless sphere. Once this stage is reached, and the mind exits to absorption of the form sphere, the practitioner will realize that the mind is suffering. The mind is no longer desirable. Suppose we are at the 8th level absorption, and we exit to level 7. We will feel that level 7 is coarse, not exciting, not desirable. Then again, when we leave from the 7th to the 6th level of absorption, we feel that level 6 is not desirable, that the mind has deteriorated. This search for happiness is still at the fabricated level. Happiness arising from absorption is still of the fabricated kind. For us, if happiness arises from sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, then it is still in the sensual sphere of existence, alternating between happiness and suffering. When we meditate and reach absorption of the form sphere, the mind becomes elevated and joyous. Happiness of the sensual sphere becomes dull, and if the mind is elevated further and reach the realm of the formless sphere, happiness of the form sphere becomes coarse and conflicting. Not real happiness. If we meditate deeply, the mind becomes calm and peaceful. There is no thoughts. False thoughts disappear. There is no perception from the eyes, ears, nose, tongue or body, leaving only awareness to maintain the mind. The mind becomes happy and fulfilled. Upon exiting this state of meditation, the feeling of immense happiness permeates all over the body. And if the samadhi is good, this happiness will last many days. We will feel that sensual pleasure is like a child's play and is unsatisfactory. However, happiness from meditative absorptions is still of the fabricated kind, which means that it falls under the 3 characteristics of existence. Prince Siddhartha studied meditation with the hermits and attained the 8th jhana. But when he exited that state, he felt that it was not useful. Because it could not rid suffering, suffering is still there. From my own observation, people who are addicted to doing meditation often suffer more than others upon exiting the meditative state. Normal people like us who live in this world are sometimes happy and sometimes unhappy. But for those who enter absorptions, once they exit that state, they become agitated more easily. Because the sensual world is coarse and undesirable. So be observant. People who are able to enter absorption, when they exit that state, they become agitated more easily. It's like they have been in a germ-free room for too long. When they leave the room and come into contact with a bacteria, they die right away. Therefore, happiness resulting from fabrication is not the essence of our practice. Is it good? Yes, it is. But eventually it deteriorates. We Buddhists are fortunate, because the Buddha has taught us to seek happiness, which is free from fabrication. This teaching cannot be found anywhere else. Other religious founders all taught about happiness of the fabricated kind, like entering absorption, so that one can be with God or other deities. But we know that fabrications are no permanent. Absorptions eventually deteriorate. We may have read stories about Hinduism. They have many gods. But are these gods really happy? They have to constantly fight off evil, wage wars, be separated from things they love, feel unfulfilled. Their happiness is fabricated. Even in heaven or the Brahman realms, there is no genuine happiness. There was once an angel by the name of Pankosika, who was adept at playing the Indian lute. He fell in love with the daughter of a demon and was heartbroken when the demon did not give consent to the union. One day, the Indra ordered this angel to inform the Buddha that the Indra requested an audience with him. The angel went to the Buddha, praised the Buddha with the Indian lute. But because deep down his thought was filled with that of the girl he loved, his praise was a mix between the Buddha and the girl. The Buddha heard this and withdrew from meditation. Since his meditative state was not deep, he was able to hear this. Otherwise, if the meditative state was deep, the sound would not be heard. With the first absorption, one can still hear. Once the Buddha heard he came out of the absorption, the angel informed him of the Indra's request for an audience. After the Indra had an audience with the Buddha, he rewarded the angel by asking for the hand of the demon's daughter for the angel. We can see here that even angels have suffering. This particular angel desired a girl, but the demon refused. His suffering is no different than ours. Angels live much longer than humans, but in the end they do pass away, to be reborn in a different realm, which may or may not be good. Some may not be reborn as humans, but as unhappy existence. I heard from the elders that even Brahmas who are good at entering absorptions can sometimes be reborn in hell. Therefore, happiness is not measured by which realm of existence we are in. Whether it's sensuous sphere, the form sphere, or formless sphere, ghosts, demons, creatures from hell, animals, human, or angels, are in the sensuous sphere. Here happiness is always accompanied by suffering. Suffering from losing things we love. Suffering from encountering things we don't desire. Suffering from unfulfilled wishes. Suffering from dying. Aging, sickness and death are unavoidable. Angels also age, even though their bodies look like they don't age. Right before passing, an angel's body would deteriorate, his aura darken. This aging process is quite brief. As he's about to die, his friends would tell him to keep calm and pray that he'll be reborn as a human. For us humans, before we die we pray to be reborn as angels. Here angels are a bit smarter. They want to become humans. Human realm is a high state of existence. Human means high-minded. It's the mind that can easily develop to reach enlightenment through the Noble Eightfold Path. Angels and other divine beings can also reach enlightenment. Although it's more difficult to reach enlightenment, we have to see the truth of the body and mind, that they are impermanent, suffering, and not self. The body of an angel or other divine being seems permanent, and only reveals its impermanence only right before death. With such a short duration of time to practice, they are disadvantaged compared to us. With our unattractive and smelly bodies, our existence in the sensual realm is most suitable for Dharma practice. Our suffering is brief. Our happiness is brief. And we can make merit easily. Angels and other divine beings have to think hard when they want to make merit, because there is not much opportunity to do so in their realms. Humans are not lowly. We should be happy that we are born in a human realm. And since we are born as humans, let's not just search for sensual pleasure. Even happiness from meditation, even though good, is not truly desirable, because it is still tainted by suffering, evil, and uncertainty. As human, we can find happiness that is free from fabrication. All fabrications are dangerous. Whether it's goodness, evil, or the desire not to fabricate. As long as there is fabrication, the mind struggles. It clings to the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. And there will still be suffering. Have you ever heard of this phrase? Tranquility is the ultimate happiness. Tranquility is happiness. There is no other happiness that can match tranquility. This is what the Buddha taught. Some people can enter absorption and become tranquil. But this tranquility is temporal. It doesn't last. They can enter absorptions, but then they'll have to exit absorptions at some point. In the end, there's no tranquility. He said, there is no other happiness that can match tranquility. But how can we find this tranquility, or find happiness that is free from all influences? The Buddha taught that enlightenment is the ultimate happiness. And sometimes he thought that there is no happiness that can match tranquility. Therefore, enlightenment is actually tranquility. So, if someone asks us to describe enlightenment, give a loud and clear reply that enlightenment has the characteristic of tranquility, called peace. Peace from defilements, peace from fabrications, peace from pain arising from elements and aggregates. The mind is free from all elements and aggregates. We humans can seek for the happiness of enlightenment. It's not beyond our grasp. In this era, where the Buddha's teachings still exist, it is possible to search for enlightenment. If born at the time where Buddhism no longer exists, the search will be much harder than now. But is it possible to search? Yes, it is possible. Those who can seek for the truth by themselves, during the time when there's no Buddhism of the privately enlightened Buddhas, their knowledge excel those of Maudgalyana and Sariputta. They can seek liberation on their own. And their findings are the same as the Buddha's. The only difference is that they won't propagate the Dharma to other beings. Their goal is to be self-liberated. So, even during the time when there is no Buddhism, some people can still be liberated. We have the advantage as we live in the time where Buddhism exists. There is only one path that leads us to liberation. This main path, the one and only path, the path to enlightenment, is the development of the foundations of mindfulness. Can you see that the development of the foundations of mindfulness is the only way to purity and liberation? This is what the Buddha taught us. Some people read too much and forget his teaching. They think the Buddha did not practice mindfulness, but was enlightened through the thinking process. This is incorrect. Thinking alone cannot lead to the understanding of Dharma. To understand Dharma, we have to observe phenomena, like Prince Siddhartha, who saw the reality of suffering. Suffering is affliction. But where does affliction come from? It comes from birth. He saw the reality of birth. We have suffering, but we rarely know it, let alone knowing birth. We say we are Thai, Chinese, Laotian, but that is not birth that the Buddha meant. Birth is when the mind grabs hold of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. When we practice Dharma, first we let go of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue and body. The last thing to let go is the mind itself. If we can let go of the mind, it means we have already let go of suffering, because the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind are the mass of suffering. They are the 5 aggregates which are suffering. Once we can let go, we will be free from suffering. Prince Siddhartha saw birth, which is when the mind grabs onto the mind, and onto the eyes, ears, nose, tongue and body. What makes birth arise? It's the process of becoming. What is the process of becoming? It's the fabrication of the mind, or the action of the mind. And the cause of this action is from intention, from clinging. For example, we cling to the self. This is desire. We want to be liberated. How can we be wholesome? When we practice Dharma, why don't we succeed? We put so much effort into our practice, but it's ineffective. It's because we practice with craving. Desire arises. We want to practice, to be liberated, to reach nibbana. Prince Siddhartha could see all this. He observed that if there is craving, then there is clinging. With clinging there is fabrication. With fabrication there is grabbing. The mind grabs the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. The eye, ear, nose, tongue and body are materiality, while the mind is mentality. Therefore, whenever we cling to matter and mind, suffering arises right away. Why? Because the Buddha taught that the 5 aggregates are suffering, which means matter and mind are suffering. When we grab onto matter and mind, specifically to the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, we are in fact grabbing onto suffering. It's like when we see a red-hot coal and we are an ignorant child. We pick it up because the color is strikingly beautiful. We don't know that red-hot coal is dangerous. Those of us who still have delusion don't know that by grabbing onto the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, corporeality, feeling, perception, mental formations and consciousness, namely the 5 aggregates and the 6 sense bases, we are in fact grabbing onto suffering. Prince Siddhartha saw that this was suffering. Therefore, his enlightenment, his understanding of cause and effect, his knowing the 4 noble truths are all transcendental wisdom. He gained this wisdom by way of Dharma practice, and not by hypothesizing. Therefore, we have to learn to do mindfulness practice, so that one day we can reach nibbana, eternal happiness, which is beyond this world. Happiness which is free from all fabrications. This happiness does exist, and it is not the fabricated happiness that we normally search for, to be rich and famous, to have a beautiful wife, to have a genius son. These are all conditional happiness, or happiness from entering absorptions. Once the absorption declines and happiness passes, all this happiness is nonsense and cannot be taken as our refuge. So, let's practice mindfulness. I have already taught a lot on how to do it. First, we need to develop the tools. We practice mindfulness by being aware of matter, which is the body. Aware of feelings such as happiness or suffering. Aware of consciousness, which is the mind. And aware of mental objects, which are matter and mind, wholesomeness and unwholesomeness, and the workings of the mind. But to be aware of all these, we must first know how to be mindful. Mindfulness is most important. It's shocking to know that most people don't have the foundations of mindfulness. At best, they are mindful in a worldly way, such as being conscious not to drive off the road. If intoxicated, they will lose consciousness and crash into other cars. Such is worldly consciousness. Consciousness, which will lead us to liberation, is the foundations of mindfulness, or mindfulness of the body, feelings, whether happiness or suffering, the mind, whether wholesomeness or unwholesomeness, and mind objects, including matter and mind, elements, aggregates. The Four Noble Truths and the dependent origination fall under the mind objects. This may be to advance. So let's start with the basic of what we can do. Contemplation of the body isn't so difficult. Same is true with contemplation of feelings and the mind. What is difficult is contemplation of mind objects. But by continually contemplating on the body, feelings, and the mind, we will all reach contemplation of mind objects. We will be able to understand the noble truth. Therefore, just contemplating on the body and constantly be aware of the body can lead to enlightenment. Aware of feelings can lead to enlightenment. Aware of the mind itself can also lead to enlightenment. We will have thorough knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. So let's develop our practice to be aware of the body. At this moment, do we know that the body is sitting? Who doesn't know that we are sitting? Please raise your hands. If there's anyone who doesn't, I'll send him to a mental hospital. How can you not know that you are sitting? Is it difficult to know that you are sitting when you are in fact sitting? Is it difficult to know of the body's movement when the body is moving? Is it difficult to know that you are breathing out or breathing in? Can you see that contemplating on the body isn't hard? Be aware of the body, its movements and its changes. When the mind wanders off, we have the body, but we forget the body, because the mind enjoys thinking of something pleasant. Some pretty women may forget their body when they talk on the phone. They would walk and scratch their head, or worse, scratch their behind. If they are aware of the body, they won't act this way because it's embarrassing. When unaware of the body will act according to habit. The mind controls the body the way it's accustomed to. Let's try to practice mindfulness. It's not difficult. We are sitting now. Just know that we are sitting. When we are walking, know that we are walking. When we are standing, know that we are standing. When we are lying down, know that we are lying down. While sitting, we are breathing out. Know that we are breathing out. We are breathing in. Know that we are breathing in. When we are moving or staying still, just know so. It's not difficult. Luangpu Pramote once said to me that practicing Dharma is not difficult. It's difficult only for those who don't practice. This is so true. We imagine Dharma practice to be complicated, that we have to do this or that. We do concentration meditation and the mind converges. we can compress a beam of light to the size of the tip of a needle. That is all about conceptualized images in concentration meditation. If we can do it, that's fine, but it is fabrication in meditation. Here we are talking about wisdom development. Being mindful of the body. The body breathes, be aware, do not wander off, and do not over-focus. There are two mistakes when contemplating the body. One is forgetting the body, and the other is over-focusing at the body. Almost all Dharma practitioners over-focus at the body, so don't be alarmed. Why do we over-focus? Because we don't know how to be aware. But if we keep practicing, we will realize that we over-focus because of craving, our desire to practice. Just by thinking that we want to practice Dharma, and the intention already arises. Once there is desire, the intention to practice arises. Once there is intention, the mind becomes active instantly. The mind tries to control itself. If it is calm, it will force itself to become calm. We create all kinds of fabrication, hindering a Dharma practice which is simple and effective. Instead of being free from fabrication, we practice by fabricating. When we are aware of the body this way, we sit and fabricate until we become stressed all over. The mind is stressed and the body is stiff. We get a stiff neck. All this is the result of getting lost in the world of fabrication, but it is possible to be aware of the body as it is. Like at this moment. Can we feel that we are sitting? You are nodding. Can you feel it? If the mind drifts off, you can be nodding, but you won't feel it. If the mind drifts away, we won't know whether we are breathing out or breathing in. But if we fix our focus on the breath, after a few breaths, and we feel tired, we have been breathing since birth, and we are not tired. But as soon as we start the practice, and fix focus at the breath, we feel tired right away. Why? Because of desire, the desire to practice, followed by the intention to control ourselves. Controlling of self has to do with concentration meditation. In cultivating wisdom to reach enlightenment, we don't use control. Rather, we practice awareness of the body as it is, and awareness of the mind as it is. It is not difficult. We just be aware with an honest and ordinary mind. Or let's be aware of feelings. This isn't difficult. When the body sits, and then a mosquito bites, it hurts. It isn't hard to know the pain. Or when walking the head bumps into a tree, the head hurts. Pain has arisen at the head. It's not difficult to feel that the head hurts, is it? It's not difficult at all. Or when the mind is happy, sad, or indifferent, it's not difficult to know. We can all know, but we neglect to. So, at this moment, we are happy. Just be aware. There's no need to control or to maintain it. If we are happy and we want to make it last, this again is fabrication and not knowing as it really is. We are already lost in fabricating. Therefore, let us practice Dharma. Let's be aware of the body without fabricating or controlling the body. Let's be aware of feelings without fabricating or controlling it. Happiness arises, know it. Don't try to find a way to make happiness last forever. Suffering arises, just know it. Don't try to rid it. Keep watching. Suffering is impermanent. If we see suffering arises as it is, without any bias, we will know that suffering falls under the three characteristics of existence. Happiness and suffering both fall under the three characteristics of existence. If we contemplate on the mind, we will see wholesomeness and unwholesomeness fall under the three characteristics of existence. Sometimes we have faith, and sometimes we lose faith. Sometimes we are diligent at our practice, other times we are lazy. Can we see that nothing is permanent? We live in the present. The mind is wholesome. Be aware. The mind is unwholesome. Be aware. In contemplation of the mind, the Buddha taught us to begin by observing unwholesomeness. He said, "Monks, the mind has craving. Know that it has craving. The mind has no craving. Know that the mind has no craving." Can we see that he began with defilement? He did not say, "Monks, the mind has no craving. Know that it has no craving. The mind has craving. Know that it has craving." He did not teach this way. Each word the Buddha used was not heedless. He carefully and ingeniously taught each step in practicing Dharma. The more we practice, the more we are amazed at his enlightened wisdom. We start with the mind that is filled with defilements, the mind which is hardly wholesome. What we constantly have are defilements. So begin with what we have. Those with craving will have craving wherever they look. Just be aware that the mind has craving. There's no need to do anything else, but just keep being aware. Eventually craving will pass away, and once craving passes, the mind has no craving. Be aware, a moment ago the mind had craving, and now it doesn't. Keep knowing this way. For those who get angry easily, see that the mind gets angry easily. Monks, the mind has anger. Know that the mind has anger. The mind has no anger. Know that the mind has no anger. Can we see that when anger arises and we see it? We see that anger comes and goes. It arises and then passes away. Monks, the mind has delusion. Know that the mind has delusion. The mind has no delusion. Know that the mind has no delusion. The mind without delusion is the awakened and joyous mind. The mind with delusion is lost in thinking or distracted. So, next time when our mind is distracted, what should we do? There are two answers. If the mind is very distracted and unfocused, then do concentration meditation. If distracted, and we can be aware that it is distracted, do insight development. See that distraction arises, maintains, then passes away. Sometimes when we study Dharma, we cannot grasp all the concepts. Carefully observe words in the three baskets. The words used were not heedless. Some were teachings of the Buddha, others were of his disciples. They were compiled by 500 enlightened ones. Therefore, the three baskets is sacred and worthy of greatest respect. These days, it's being attacked by people with wrong view or egotistic. They say it's incorrect in many areas, when in fact they are the ones that cannot understand the teachings, believing in only their own view. An example is a monk who said that enlightened ones can be reborn if they want to become a future Buddha. This kind of thinking is gravely wrong. It can only arise from someone who doesn't know how to practice correctly, because the three baskets was complied by enlightened ones, containing the teachings of enlightened ones, and passed down to us. We have to preserve and protect it. Don't let anyone destroy it at their will, using freedom in religious belief as an excuse. This is not freedom, but rather impingement. As an example, we say we have freedom, then we see a beautiful woman and we rape her because we have freedom. This is not acceptable, and it is not acceptable to destroy the three baskets. It is not anyone's personal possession which can be destroyed at his or her own will. If we read the three baskets, we will know right away that each sentence was beautifully composed. An example is the 7 factors of enlightenment, which begin with being mindful. Once mindful, the next step is to be aware of the body and mind. This mindfulness of body and mind is truth investigation. If we keep doing this, happiness and joy arise. Aware of happiness and joy, and calmness arises, followed by samadhi and equanimity. At first we become content with samadhi, but with awareness the mind becomes equanimous. Can we see that each topic in the teachings is not written at random, but carefully and beautifully put together? Those with low level of understanding will not understand. Therefore, let us practice Dharma. If aware of the mind, when the mind has craving, know that it has craving. There's no need to do or to fix anything. Just be aware. But if craving is too strong, and we are about to break the precepts, and use force on a person, then we need to control it with the precepts. Our mindfulness is no match, it is still too weak. We have to fight it with the precepts, which states that such an action is wrong. So, precepts are also essential. We start by observing the precepts, practice samadhi so that the mind gains strength and stability, and then develop wisdom. In developing wisdom, all we have to do is to be aware of the body as it is, to be aware of feelings as they are, to be aware of the mind as it is. Is it difficult to know when anger arises? No, it isn't, but nobody knows. When we are angry, we focus our attention directly on the person who makes us angry. For example, while driving on the road, somebody cuts in front of our car. We get angry and focus our attention on the car that cuts in. We forget to be aware that the mind has anger. That's all. So just look inward and be aware of our own mind. It's not difficult at all. To be aware of the body isn't difficult. We can see that we are sitting right. To be aware of feelings, whether right now we are happy or sad, isn't difficult. To be aware of our own mind, just know when anger, desire, or delusion arises. Constantly be aware. We are unable to know only because we don't pay attention. Anger arises and we focus on the person that makes us angry. Or when a dog barks and we want to sleep, we get angry at the dog and forget to know that the mind has anger. We focus our attention on the dog. It's all these behaviors that prevent us from Dharma. Therefore, from now on, let's practice contemplation well. Be aware of the body as it is. Just know it naturally. Be aware of feelings as they are, feelings such as happiness or suffering. Be aware of the mind as it is, whether it is wholesome or unwholesome. Keep knowing, keep watching. We will see that the body, feelings, and the mind are all impermanent. They are all objects that are bound to break, to pass away. They are not under our control, but arise because of certain causes. When we see this, it's when we understand Dharma. Once we understand the truth of matter and mind, like our body is matter, and feelings and the mind are mind. Let's keep practicing. Eventually we will see that all matter and mind are not us, not ours. The mind then becomes liberated. Once the mind is genuinely liberated and is able to let go of defilements, it will regurgitate itself, separate itself from the aggregates permanently. Defilements that used to cover and control the mind can no longer do so. Defilements are what blocks the mind from wisdom, blinding us from the noble truth, resulting in us having wrong view. Therefore, defilements create ignorance, causing ignorance to arise. With ignorance, we cannot understand the noble truth. We are being controlled by defilements. So, ignorance is the cause of defilement, and defilement is the cause of ignorance. These realities exist. They are real, not just words or talks. Just talking cannot rid defilements. But if we practice with utmost dedication, we will be enlightened. We will let go of the 5 aggregates, specifically let go of the mind, and the mind becomes free from the 5 aggregates. And when the mind no longer grabs hold of the 5 aggregates, there is no more birth. This is because birth is when the mind grabs onto the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, or the 5 aggregates. Once there is no birth, then there is no longer the need to practice Dharma for liberation. The work is done. There is no more work for liberation. The mind senses, knows, and becomes fearless. Luangpu Pramote used the term the smiling mind to describe this phenomenon. It's not that the mind is smiling with its mouth. Rather, the mind is smiling, ridiculing defilements. Defilements can no longer influence the mind. Can you remember the story of Prince Siddhartha when he became the Buddha? He exclaimed to desire, "Desire, the carpenter, has built a house for us. Now we have destroyed the house, and the carpenter will no longer be able to build another one for us. The house is the building up of rebirths." Here the Buddha mocked desire. Luangpu Pramote called this transformed mind the smiling mind. It's the mind that mocks defilements. The mind is full of courage. Let me end my talk today on this note, or we will become too courageous. Go practice. Time is limited, so practice with haste. We don't know how long Buddhism will be with us. There is so much wrong view everywhere. So many non-Buddhists are hiding behind the yellow robes. It may become more difficult to listen to Dharma in the near future. Therefore, start practicing today. Don't waste time, or you may later regret. Number 1.
Number 1. I practice Dhamma in daily life and do formal practice regularly. By chanting and practicing loving kindness, I feel that the mind has become more stable and upright. I can see that the motif behind each action, speech, or thought is the desire for people whom we care to view us in a positive way. I'm still addicted to and hold on to goodness. I want to maintain goodness. I also try to examine inwards because I want to be good and to understand different phenomena. How can I develop further?
Be aware of your desire, for it is the cause of endless fabrication. Your mind is locked in this position because you fabricate it. Genuine Dharma is neither inward nor outward. Dharma is everywhere. Be mindful. You are still a little stuck with concentration meditation. Try to step out and experience the real world. When the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body or mind is influenced by an object of consciousness, and there's a change in the body or mind, just know it. This way you can advance further in your practice. You have an opportunity to improve. So don't be stuck with just concentration meditation. Number 2.
Number 2. I have a better understanding now. I see that Dhamma practice can improve and can deteriorate. I understand more about Dhamma practice, about suffering. I am determined, but not rushing to get results like in the past. I try to accumulate awareness one moment at a time. May Luangpu be kind enough to teach me how to advance further.
Keep accumulating. Keep knowing your body and mind. Don't learn Dharma by just thinking. You are still thinking too much. Can you see? When you practice, you are also thinking. From now on, just know and not think. Your hand is moving down like this. Just feel it. Don't think of how you can be enlightened, how you can be good. All this is thinking, and after thinking comes action. You want to do this or that. Stop. Just feel. Know the body as it is. Know the mind as it is. Right now there's tension. Can you feel the tense body? Don't get lost in thinking. Feel the body. The body moves. What do you feel? Keep being aware. Feelings are more important than thoughts. Our thoughts are influenced by defilements. This is natural. I'm not blaming number 2, for everyone else is the same, believing in their own thoughts. So don't believe in your thoughts. But happiness or suffering are real. Whether you are happy or sad, you cannot lie. Happiness arises and you see it. Sadness arises and you see it. But thoughts are not phenomena. They are deceptive. Be aware, smile. Move your legs. Sit in a relaxed posture. Yes, this is good. Can you feel that your mind is better than earlier? This is the mind which is ready for practice. We are not using the mind as weapon to hit other people's heads. So don't be fierce. Just use a natural mind. I've corrected your practice, but soon you will revert to before because of habit. Number 3.
Number 3. The mind is concentrated, stable and upright. Defilements seem to be like a hard shell that wraps around the mind. It breaks away, and then wraps around the mind again. When I sleep I sense a loud sound like thunder, which emits light. The mind has more awareness. It is singular. It is the knowing element. The mind suffers tremendously. It revokes itself to the world. It is bright and becomes one with the world. What is this phenomenon?
It is what it is. Do not try to label it. Keep practicing. Observe your mind and see if it still clings to anything. If it still clings, then there will be more suffering. Keep observing. Keep knowing. Your practice is good. But don't practice to gain things. Don't practice to gain enlightenment. We practice to let go. See the body and let go of it. See the feeling, the mind. See their pain and peril. See the 3 marks and let go. We practice to let go. Your mind still practices to gain. You still want enlightenment. Therefore, observe the mind. If the mind still has desire, your work will not end. Your practice is good. Number 3. Very, very good. Number 4.
Number 4. I practice by praying and by being mindful of feelings in daily life. I started with ignorance, not knowing defilements. Now I know more, especially anger and unwholesomeness. I can see them right away, starting from pressure arising from the chest. Am I practicing correctly?
Yes. The pressure at the chest is where craving arises from. Craving pushes up, and without awareness, it engrosses our head and controls it. Just like a cow being roped by the neck and dragged to wherever it's supposed to go. We are continually being dragged by craving. Be aware. Practice this way is good. Know often. Number 5.
Number 5. I practice in daily life and do formal practice every day. Presently I mainly contemplate on feelings and the mind. I see their arising and passing, arising by themselves, and passing by themselves. The mind alternates between wholesomeness and unwholesomeness all the time. Please give me guidance and teach me how to be aware of phenomena.
What you are observing are phenomena. You are already being mindful of phenomena. But you need to be neutral. Otherwise you may like certain phenomena over others. You may want certain phenomena, and once you obtain them you want to maintain them. You may dislike other phenomena and want to push them away. Try to know this. Your mind is still biased. Number 3. Try to be a bit more mindful. Your awareness just faded slightly. Become aware a bit more. A moment ago, the mind had just wandered off. Number 6.
Number 6. I contemplate on the body until I can clearly see the mind. I see the mind at work, though I cannot see how it arises. I can see it passing away more. There is less feeling of happiness or suffering. The mind is still. I'm not sure if I fabricate this stillness.
It's mixed. As you gain more awareness and knowledge, you see more truth and the mind becomes equanimous. But at the same time you also desire equanimity, so you fabricate it. Just be aware of this. Can you see that sometimes you fabricate stillness? Don't do it. All fabrications, no matter how special, bring suffering. Don't control the mind. Can you see that you are controlling the mind? Don't do it. Be aware as it actually is. Your mind is too tight now. It's excited. And excitement makes it tight. Go practice some more. Your practice is good. Number 7.
Number 7. My awareness of body movements makes me see the mind more clearly. I do formal practice, walking or sitting meditation, 30 to 40 minutes every day. Lately I'm engulfed by delusion. I'm often muddled, blurred, and sleepy. Please guide me on how to continue my practice.
When you are muddled, don't resist. Just be aware of your body. It's the mind that is muddled. So if you are constantly aware of the body, you will gain strength. Once the mind is strong, it will break through the encasement. Now you are controlling too much. Be aware of the body, but not fix focus on the body. There is a difference. Just be aware. Can you see the body breathing? Don't breathe intentionally, otherwise you will be tired. Just breathe normally. We are already breathing. Smile. Move your hands. Can you see that while moving your hands you are stiff? Can you see? This is controlling the body. Just be aware. There's still stiffness. You are still controlling it. Just be aware. Go practice some more. What you've done is good. You are diligent. Number 8.
Number 8. Luangpu taught us to use a normal mind to study phenomena. I've found that a stiff mind is not normal because it has craving. And I used to suffer so much because the observing mind plunged to involve itself with phenomena and fabrications. Can Luangpu please guide me what I did wrong in my practice?
It's not wrong. Keep being aware like this. Can you see that if we become involved, we will be engulfed, sinking into suffering? But if the mind gains strength, it will pull itself out without the intention to do so. If you intentionally pull it out, the mind becomes stiff. Keep being aware. The mind will step back to become just the knower, the observer. What you are practicing is good. This is all for now. I taught a lot today, covering lots of topics. When I teach, the context is always around Dharma and how to practice. Each talk contains many levels of Dharma, from basic to advanced. Why? Because you are so diverse. Some have practiced Dharma for a long time, while others are just starting to practice. This is why I have to teach this way. This is the same method that Luangpu Dun taught. He said an elegant sermon has to comprise of the study of the scriptures, how to practice, and how to be liberated. Some people have to start by studying the scriptures. Some want guidance on how to practice, how to observe the precepts, how to meditate, and how to practice mindfulness. And lastly, how to be liberated. If we are diligent at our practice, we will be liberated and reach nibbana. We don't just practice hopelessly. We have a goal, and that is to be free from all fabrications. But to be free from fabrications, let's not go around fabricating. Number 3. Don't fabricate. You are still fabricating. This is all for today. May you all make progress in your Dharma practice.